Most people trying to learn AI agents fail before they even start, not because the technology is too hard, but because they get lost in the ecosystem. So hundreds of tools, dozens of frameworks, models changing every single week. You open LinkedIn or YouTube and suddenly everyone's talking about CrewAI, LangChain, MCP A2A, N8A, OpenAI Agents SDK, and you're sitting there thinking, where do I even begin? They don't need another tutorial, they need a map. Because here's the thing, once you understand what AI agents are and when to use them, which we covered in the last two videos, the next question is obvious. When you actually want to build one, what do you use? And that's where people get stuck. So today I'm going to give you that map. Not a list of every tool that will take hours, but a simple 3-layer framework that makes the entire ecosystem make more sense. Welcome to Learn Data Easy. This is the series where we break down AI, data, and cloud concepts without jargon and without stress. I'm Charlene. I work in data and AI, and this is part 3 of our AI agent series. In the first video, we covered what AI agents actually are, using the goal, tools, planning, and memory framework. In the second video, we compared AI agents with ChatGPT, and we talk about when we would use each. And if you haven't seen those videos yet, they're linked below and even up here because they'll make this one much easier to follow. Today, we're zooming out. You already know what agents are. You know when to use them. Now let's build a mental map of the entire ecosystem so you never feel lost when someone mentions a new tool. So here's what happens to most people. You watch a video about AI agents and it sounds amazing, then you get excited. Then you Google, how do I build an AI agent? And suddenly you're drowning. LangChain, CrewAI, N8N, OpenAI Agents SDK, MCP A2A, Claude Agent SDK, Google ADK, and that's before you even chosen an AI model. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Llama, DeepSeek. The problem is that most content jumps straight into the tools. It tells you how to install something before explaining how to use it, so people end up memorizing names instead of understanding concepts. The good news is that you only need to understand a few key ideas, because almost every tool you'll encounter fits somewhere within a simple 3-layer framework. And once you understand that framework, you can look at almost any new AI tool and immediately know where it belongs. And trust me, there will be a new one next week. Let's use a simple example. Imagine we want to build an AI agent that creates a daily sales report. Every morning it pulls data from a database, analyzes the numbers, writes a summary, emails stakeholders. What actually makes that possible? Where there isn't one piece of technology doing all of that, there are multiple layers working together. And once you understand those layers, the whole ecosystem suddenly becomes much easier to understand. A simple way to think about the AI agent ecosystem is through 3 layers. So layer 1 are the models, layer 2 frameworks, and layer 3 are the protocols. Models do the thinking, frameworks connect everything together, and protocols allow different systems to communicate. Now that's the map. Now let's go through each layer. Let's start with the models. These are the brains, the large language models that perform reasoning, generate text, analyze information, and make decisions. There are dozens of models available today, but these are some of the most important ones you'll come across. So ChatGPT from OpenAI, probably the most widely used AI model today, good at almost everything and often the starting point for many people. Then Claude from Anthropic, particularly strong at reasoning, structured outputs, and working with large amounts of data. We have Gemini from Google, strong multimodal capabilities and a deep integration with Google's ecosystem. Llama from Meta, one of the leading open source models. You can run it yourself, customize it, and avoid paying per request. And then newer models such as DeepSeek, which have gained attention because of their strong performance and lower costs. Now here's the important takeaway. Most people building agents, the model matters less than you think. Yes, some models perform better on specific tasks, but they're all surprisingly capable. The bigger difference comes what you connect the model to. Now let's go back to our sales report example. The model might be responsible for analyzing the data and writing the summary, but by itself, it cannot access the database. It can't send the email. It can't interact with the outside world. For that, we need the next layer. Now, this is where things get interesting. So it's also where most people get confused. A framework is the toolkit that connects the model to the real world. Frameworks help your AI use tools, access data, remember information, and complete workflows. A useful way to think about frameworks is this. How much code do you want to write? On the no-code side, you have N8N. And this is incredibly popular right now. N8N gives you a visual drag-and-drop interface. You connect systems together using boxes and arrows, databases, Google Drive, Slack, email, AI models. If you're a business user, analyst, or data professional who doesn't want to become a software engineer, this is often the easiest place to start. And because it's visual, you can see exactly how everything works. Moving further down the spectrum, you have CrewAI. Now, CrewAI is built around the idea of multiple agents working together. You might have a researcher, a writer, an analyst, and each agent has a specific role. You write some Python, but it's designed to be approachable. The idea is simple. Instead of one agent doing everything, you have a team. Further along, you have LangChain and LangGraph. LangChain became one of the earliest popular frameworks for AI applications. LangGraph builds on top of it and is particularly useful for more complex workflows. Memory, approval steps, loops, retries, recovery when something fails, and these are features many companies need in production systems. And then on the far code side, you have frameworks provided directly by the model vendors. So the OpenAI Agents SDK or the Claude Agent SDK or Google ADK. And these provide the maximum flexibility, but they also require stronger engineering skills. Now, let's go back to our sales report example. The framework is the thing coordinating the workflow. It knows when to pull the data, when to send the information to the model, when to generate the reports, and when to email the stakeholders. The framework is effectively acting as the product manager or the project manager in this case. Now, the question everyone asks is, which one should I learn? And the answer is, it depends on what you're building. If you want automation without coding, start with N8N. If you're curious about multi-agent systems, try CrewAI. If you want to build complex production systems, look at LangGraph. Are you heavily invested in OpenAI? Then OpenAI Agents SDK might make sense. But remember this, the framework is not the goal. The automation is the goal. The end user doesn't care whether you use LangGraph or CrewAI or N8N. They care that the process works. Now, let's talk about the layer that most beginners never hear about. Protocols. Protocols are the standards that allow different systems to communicate. And right now, there are two important ones worth understanding. The first one is MCP, and this stands for Model Context Protocol, introduced by Anthropic and now widely adopted across the industry. Here's the easiest way to think about it. So imagine every tool has its own unique cable, and your database needed one cable, and Google Drive needed another, and Slack needed another, and every new integration required custom work. And that's how things used to be. So MCP standardizes how AI systems connect to tools. It's a bit like USB. So before USB, every device had a different connector. And then after USB, everything became a lot simpler. So MCP is often described as USB for AI. Now let's return to our sales report example. The AI agent needs access to a database. Perhaps it also needs access to Google Drive, maybe a CRM tool. MCP creates a standard way for connections to happen. The second protocol is A2A, and this is agent to agent. And while MCP focuses on connecting agents to tools, A2A focuses on connecting agents to other agents. Now imagine one agent handling customer support, and then you have another agent managing inventory and another generating reports. A2A gives those agents a common language so they can communicate without custom integrations. This area is still evolving quickly, but the direction is clear. The future isn't one giant AI system doing everything, it's specialized systems working together. So why should people working in data care about any of this? Because increasingly, this is where data work is headed. So 5 years ago, being good at SQL was enough for many roles, and then Python became increasingly important. Today, companies are looking for people who can connect AI to data, people who understand how models, frameworks, and protocols work together. And here's the key thing. Most companies are not trying to build the next ChatGPT. They're trying to connect AI to the systems they already have. Their database, their reports, their dashboards, their customer data. And that's exactly where these technologies become valuable. If you're finding this useful, it really helps the channel if you subscribe. And let's keep learning AI the easy way. Now, let's recap. The AI agent ecosystem can be understood through 3 layers. So we have models, frameworks, protocols. So models do the thinking, frameworks connect models to tools and workflows, and protocols allow systems to communicate. The model you choose matters less than what you connect it to. Choose your framework based on how much code you want to write. And remember, MCP connects agents to tools, and A2A connects agents to other agents. If the first video answered what AI agents are, and the second video answered when to use them, this video should give you a mental model for how they're built. The tools will change. There will be new models, new frameworks, new protocols, but these 3 layers are likely to remain. Understand those layers and you'll be able to navigate the AI ecosystem long after today's tools have been replaced. In the next episode, we're going to get practical. We're going to build a simple AI agent from start to finish. We'll choose a model, connect it to tools, and watch it complete a real task. And we'll keep it just as simple. If this video has helped you, please subscribe, and let's keep learning AI the easy way. See you next time.